It's something good. See ya. Cheerio. Pat was on his way. Then he saw Peter Fogg. Peter was on his tractor. The tractor was all muddy, and so was Peter. He had mud on his pants, mud on his shirt, and mud all over his face. Pat said, "What have you been doing?" Peter said, "It's this rain. I fell over in the mud. I'm off home now for a hot bath." Pat said, "That's a good idea, but before you go, here's a letter for you. It's from your girlfriend. That should cheer you up." "Great," said Peter. "Oh, this rain. I'm fed up with it. Cheerio." Pat was on his way. Pat had a letter for Granny Dryden. He went to her house. "Hello, Mrs. Dryden. There's a letter for you today." Granny Dryden said, "Oh, lovely. I like letters." She opened the letter, read it quickly, then looked out of the window. "Just look at my washing," she said. "I left it out to dry, and now look at it, all wet." Pat helped Granny Dryden to get the washing in. They put it by the fire. Granny Dryden said, "Will you have a cup of tea before you go? And if Jess is with you, perhaps he'd like some milk." Pat said, "Oh, lovely. Yes, please." Pat went on his way. He went to Thompson's ground. He had a letter for Alf and 2 letters for Dorothy. The rain had made a pond in the field, and the ducks were swimming in it. Jess looked out at the ducks. Pat said, "Your ducks like the rain. I wished I did." Alf smiled. He said, "Look at Jess. He thinks my ducks are mad, playing in the rain. Come on, Jess. Are you coming out for a swim?" But Jess would not come out. He did not like the water. He went back into his basket and went to sleep. "Cheerio," said Pat, and Pat was on his way. Pat called on Ted. He had a parcel for him. "Ah, good," said Ted. "That will be the parts for Granny Dryden's clock. Now I can mend it." Pat said, "How do you like this rain?" Ted said, "I don't mind the rain. I have a lot of jobs to do. I'm too busy to bother about the rain." Pat said, "Do you like my new van?" "Lovely," said Ted, "but it's all muddy. Hang on, I'll get my hose and wash it down." Pat said, "Your hose in all this rain?" "Yes," said Ted. "No bother. Hang on." Ted got out his hose and washed Pat's van. He washed all the mud off. "Thanks," said Pat. "It looks new again. Thanks a lot." "No bother," said Ted. "Cheerio," said Pat, and Pat was on his way. Pat said, "Time to go home, Jess. Time for tea." Jess was glad. "The rain stopped," said Pat. It had. It was fine again. Jess jumped out of the van. He ran around the puddles and into the house. He sat by the fire. He had a wash and a dish of fish. It was nice to be home. The end. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again here at the ABC Storytime.